If you viewed the anchor chart, you already know that authors generally have at least one of three purposes: to persuade, to inform, or to entertain. I think if we're taking a look at the Dilemma, chapter 3 specifically, he's trying to be informative because we get a lot of new information, but he's also making an argument about what is a healthy food chain and what is not a so healthy food chain. Chapter 3 is basically about how corn or maize has come to dominate the US food supply. Um, and he explains why that is, and the technological advances that enabled that. Um, he explains that it's not natural to have one dominant crop, such as corn, take over the entire system. But he gives reasons for why that is happening in the United States. Um, so, as I said, Paulin's purpose is both to inform and to argue, right? So if you look at the T chart below, you need to understand what makes up informational text and what makes up argumentative text. Informational texts tend to inform. They contain little opinion, and examples include newspapers, instructional booklets, and scientific articles. Argumentative text, they're intended to persuade. They contain mostly opinion, and examples include opinion articles, speeches, and advertisements. As you go through chapter 3, you're going to see examples of both informational purposes and argumentative purposes. Um, It's clearly informational because there's so much new information that we get in chapter 3. He explains about why nitrogen is so important, why fertilizers are so important, the problem of pollution. So I learned a lot from chapter 3, but at the same time, I think he's making an argument, right? Because he says at the start of chapter 3, it may seem that I've given corn too much credit. After all, corn is just a plant. How could a plant take over our food chain and push out almost every other species? Well, it had some help from the US government. So he's arguing that the US government has promoted this policy of corn and soybeans as a dominant crop, and that creates certain problems throughout the food chain. Um, all right, so you are ready to start your task. You can go on to the next slide, and I'll model some of that, and then you'll be ready to go.